Jupiter's frickin' cock. Welcome, YouTubers, to another video. Today, we bring to you a $6,000 statue. This ginormous Godzilla vs. Kong by Prime One Studios. I mean, can you even see me in the camera? Goodness. This is ridiculous. Definitely ridiculous. So, yeah, we definitely have a lot to talk about. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe and like this video. And if you're looking to buy anything, use the links below. And Secret Compass is the best retailer to buy statues from. So, first off, let's get measurements out of the way. Now, in terms of heaviness, I would say it's probably Kong in the middle buildings that weigh the most. Now, measuring from Kong base all the way out, it looks to be about 56 inches. And then the tallest point is gonna be Kong to the top of this tower, 31 inches. In terms of depth, I have it all the way back to the back of this, and Godzilla is angled a little, differently. A little over, it's about 25 inches depth. So putting this on the garage shelf, granted, I could angle Godzilla slightly better, I would say. But in terms of actual just base though, let me measure just the base without Godzilla's freaking tail. No, I'm just real curious. Yeah, it should fit all the way on a garage shelf, just barely, maybe slightly hanging off. Now, I can't show you guys the light up right now because Prime One Studios decided not to include any of the adapters and make an adapter that's not common, like your typical statue. So I can't show the light up, so we're gonna have to show that in another, like join my Facebook group, I'll show it there, and Instagram, I'll post, a video of it. But for the sake of this video review, you will not be seeing light up unless I'm able to edit the video and add light up at the very end, because this video is launching in a few days. And I ordered 3 adapters that are all the same. It cost me $54 on Amazon. That was the cheapest I could find too. So all 3 adapters will arrive in 2 days. So more than likely just stick to the end of the video. I'll have to edit it and add lighting. But here it is in all its glory. I have been waiting a very long time. I just watched the entire MonsterVerse. So we're talking Kong Skull Crawler, or Skull Island, Godzilla the original, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. So I generally think I have a pretty fresh idea of, this statue, because I just watched this movie 2 days ago. So ships in 5 boxes in case you didn't catch the unboxing video. 252 pounds total between all the boxes. Yeah, and this retailed at $5,699 plus $1,200 economy shipping. It does have a few swap outs. Notably, you can not display this giant, I think it's Argo. Maybe I'm wrong, whatever. This giant spacecraft that was used in Godzilla King of the Monsters and a little bit in Godzilla vs. Kong. Eleven's dad flew in that. So you can swap that out for basically one of those. I actually just left that in the box. I will display this permanently because I think it adds a lot to this piece. And it definitely looks really freaking cool. And in general, you have 5 aircrafts. A standard helicopter here, and this one just has, it just hasn't started yet. This one, I don't know what the name of that one is called, but the one they went into the, inner Earth with. These 2 that are flying, and then that one also looks like it's flying because it has the flames coming out from behind. This is what the back of the diorama looks like, and it does say Prime One Studio. And it's kind of glass, it's kind of cracked. So, pretty cool. Lots of styrofoam on this thing. I need to take a duster to it, honestly. But, yeah, just look at that. It's like a whole New York City right there. It's crazy. And I know, the way they did the light up on Kong is kind of weird. So, as you can see, right there and right there are the two ports for these light ups, but Kong for some reason is right there. So granted, you can't have that completely touching because the way they did the cloud, that smoke effect, it hits the building. So I guess they purposely did that, and then you just run the cord along there, cord there, cord there. So I'm going to try to connect this to my Alexa system because I do want to have the ability to light this one up, and frankly, King Ghidorah and have them all lit up. I think that would be just the sickest light up ever. So I do want to get that set up. So in general, you know, this piece is absolutely phenomenal. It's definitely extremely impressive. The characters themselves are not massive. Godzilla's pretty big. I'll say that. He's pretty big. He's not massive, but he's pretty big. Kong is relatively small. Like, he's not big. He feels relatively small. The statue as a whole is massive. Like, this is a big boy. It's deep. It's, you know, overall, with all the buildings, makes it quite tall. And it's just something you don't see. You never see anything like this, where it's like literally an entire city. It's like, you know, going into like having a miniature version like you see in like movie sets, or someone with a Lego setup. Just this is way more detailed. You know, it's just way different from your typical statue. And so I really like that. There's just so much to see on this statue. It's just like crazy. Because this battle was incredibly epic. Like, I really liked the Godzilla vs. Kong battle in addition to Mecha. I thought it was super badass, honestly. You know, I'm like, it was so freaking cool. And honestly, I was rooting for Kong. I feel like in this movie, Kong was the one you kind of wanted to win, but at the end of the day, Godzilla is the king of the monsters, so he took down Kong, but Kong gave him a good fight, you know, and then Mecha, though, was cheating totally. Plus, Godzilla was super tired. I think if you wanted the ultimate display, like if I had the ability to display it like this is how I'd do it. Godzilla bust, Kong bust, and then King Ghidorah left of Godzilla bust, to the right of Kong bust, Kong vs. Skullcrawler, and above, on top of, I would love to say like buildings or something, but literally above the diorama is Mecha, like slightly back, like in a distance. Like he just came out of his platform. You got the bus on each side, plus an additional character. That is how I'd love to display my Monsterverse. To be able to do something like that, though, like have Mecha behind and above, you would need some serious depth. Plus the bus on each side, that's some serious space. At least, you know, with everything I'm basically stating, you're looking at least 3 big garage shelves. Like basically that, and that, to host everything I talked about, in addition to having another garage shelf behind the middle garage shelf to host Mecha. Now, I haven't ordered Mecha. I am on the wait list. I might buy it. I'm still determining. I really can't give my true opinion on this till I see the light up feature, but I can tell you, you know, in general, what I think based off not lit up, because in general, I think it's not going to be lit up when I look at it. But, so these do align pretty good in terms of connecting, outside of that one because of that cloud and the fact you have to run the cord down there, and you'll see that cord once you plug it in, but it's not, you know, hard to see. This logo is really nice and long, looks good, and I think it's very fitting. You know, it kind of reminds me of, you know, how I have the logo right there for these two. The buildings really add so much to this piece. It really does. It really encompasses this battle because, you know, they were in Hong Kong. And if you haven't been to Hong Kong, it's just like New York City, just a bazillion buildings. You know, I've been to Hong Kong. It was wild. And I think Prime One did a fabulous job with these buildings. They're highly detailed. You know, there is battle damage, you know, everywhere along these. You know, just like all these cool little cracks and details, and I know these whole buildings light up, same with the fire, so I'm excited to see that. But overall, these buildings look incredible. You know, I think they just add so much to this piece, and they're all quite unique. I'm not 100% sure if like each of these buildings was in the movie per se. I mean, I don't think the Prime One was, but who's gonna know that? But, you know, in the front, they have the smaller buildings, which they're utilizing. It looks like apartment complexes, maybe an office. You know, and there is little cars as well. You know, these are tiny, as you can see, not even the size of a thumbnail. You know, here's like a traffic light, car that crashed, a car that's on fire, and it looks like, yeah, it's flipped upside down. The roads are broken, cars flipped upside down. Just tons going on. All these cars, one flipped upside down. Over there on this side, where is it? Oh, it's back there. There's a bus and a train. No, the train is derailed right there on fire. So a train's derailed. I mean, even like this is really cool looking. Like, look at all this design. Oh my gosh. That is incredible. So much going on, right? Even just like this underbase. Look at this. You know, it's almost like a cavern into like an old city from, you know, that's just crazy. I didn't even realize this because you can't really tell in photos, but in person, this is insane. You know, absolutely insane. They definitely kind of went all out on this piece. Here, what is this? Oh, this is either a submarine or another airplane. I think this is a submarine. Everything overall fit pretty good. I didn't have any issues in terms of that. And if anyone knows what that means, please tell me. That Japanese logo. Or Chinese. Let's check out Godzilla. Now, I've never seen another Godzilla piece in person outside of my bust. But this looks identical to my bust in terms of like paint app and in general detail, just a scaled down version. There is, you know, hints of blue in here, which I think is great since he was using that blue flame constantly. Overall, Godzilla looks great. Same with Kong. I think they both look excellent. You know, he has lots of scratches, you know, because he did get scratched by Godzilla. I think they did a good job hiding the seam line. You can't really see it. I think it looks better than the Kong vs. Skullcrawler seam line. That one's kind of bad. So the seam line is hidden extremely well, both there and the hand. You can't really notice at all, where Godzilla is one whole piece. You know, he's 2 feet long, 24 inches tall. So he's quite a big piece. Yeah, check out all these, like, looks like more apartment complexes. These buildings are so intricate and so cool. It's just something, you know, I've never had anything like this. It's insane. Yeah, I think it looks phenomenal. The dorsal fins on him look great. Like, look at that intricate detail in that. I gotta say, I really like that and that the most of all the airplanes, because, you know, I know they're direct from the movie. Those are just like different military helicopters that were in the battle trying to help. But I think they did a really good job on this piece. I love that Prime 1 building. I think it's super legit. It's an awesome looking building. It's, you know, very unique and stands out being white with that big red logo that I know lights up. Very, very cool. Just a crazy piece, honestly. Here is the axe, which honestly looks fantastic. You know, and this is like possibly, it's a helicopter pad. They all have that like H for helicopter. Crazy, crazy piece, no doubts. You know, it's like you'll never see a piece this crazy probably again in my collection. This is going to be like the craziest. You know, like this tops, you know, like Shockwave and Optimus Jetwing in terms of just like craziness going on. You know, and then of course you get the swap out Kong portraits. You know, I'm likely going to be switching between that one and this one. So I've only seen this one. Let's try the other one on person. It's quite easy to swap it out. It's not a stupid strong magnet. You know, so check that one out. This one does allow you to see his eyes a little bit better because he's just so open. And the mouth is super glossy and looks fantastic. The reason I want to use this portrait is because my other Kong statue, I've been using this one pretty much exclusively, and I don't want them to look the exact same. I want one to be like the teeth grinning, and I think either way I could use this one, or I could do the teeth grinning on my Kongverse Skullcrawler. So I don't think I will use, this head really. I think, he's in this battle. He's fighting for his life. He needs to be showing some sort of menacing pose. Godzilla, has his mouth open to roar. Why would Kong just be like a calm, collective dude? No. He is fighting for his freaking life. So he's either mouth open or he's just grinning because he's super pissed. So I think, I like those two portraits. This one, I'm glad it came with it in case you ever want to display it, but I don't think I would. Yeah, check out the intricate details here. Crazy. The buildings are very close. Like, some of these are super close. Definitely an incredibly impressive piece. It better be for 6,000 freaking bucks. Now, I didn't have any damage on the statue. I think it was overall, everything was well packaged. As far as I heard, Godzilla's made of vinyl, but frankly, when I picked him up, he was heavy and he looks fantastic. I got no complaints in terms of detail, paint, or, weight of the piece. As long as the statue looks good, has a decent weight. And the reason I want a weighty piece is in case of earthquakes. It's the lighter statues that topple over. If it's weighty, it's not going to topple over. That's why I want a weighty piece personally. Otherwise, light pieces are fine because it's easier to move around because, these are all quite heavy. Godzilla is the lightest of the three, though. Those two are very heavy, mostly because of the big buildings, though. He has smaller buildings. Those have like two giant ones, and that has one giant one and medium and small. And I think in general, his big base is slightly lighter than those, at least Kong's base. Probably that one might be the lightest. Yeah, it has that crazy cool looking design all throughout the underbase. And honestly, I had no idea it even had this. So it's a very pleasant surprise because I really like it. I think it's really cool. Prime One does a fantastic job when it comes to, their bases, doing underbases and really just capturing the scene. Because I thought it was just mud looking, and he does come with the fist in case you ever want to display that. But frankly, why would you not want that axe? That axe was so cool in the movie. Super cool. So I'll probably never display this ever. Even my other Kong, I like displaying it with him holding that like boat propeller thing, because I just think it looks cooler than him just holding the chain. But yeah, this is an absolutely insane piece though, folks. I absolutely freaking love it. Overall, the presence is insane. I can't wait to get on top of the garage shelf next to King Ghidorah. I'm going to test it out on the right and the left to see which, way I like it better, which one gives me optimal angles, because I can say right off the bat, it's definitely a better piece than King Ghidorah. Although I absolutely love King Ghidorah, and King Ghidorah himself absolutely is better than Godzilla or Kong. And frankly, even combined, it's the base that makes this piece, plus the fact it's a gigantic diorama. And I'm a huge fan of dioramas. I think it just really creates such an epic moment in a movie. Where there's a lot of statues that are just kind of like conceptually never happened or whatever. This was such a cool moment for me. I still remember seeing it in theater, how I was just like, wowed by how amazing this movie was. And even still, I just barely watched it. It's a 10 out of 10 movie for me. I just saw Mission Impossible, actually, just barely. Fantastic movie. I'm a huge fan of Tom Cruise. I love that guy. Every movie he makes is so good. But yeah, now I have to move this, over into the other room. So I'm going to show you real quickly what it looks like right now without anything, and then we'll put it there, and then I'll have to eventually, kind of move it per se to get the lighting set up. But we're going to throw it right there, and the tail's going to come up to about right there. Right there. You know, and we got the poster set up, and I think that poster is perfect. As you can see, the poster is also the roaring open mouth, so I think for the most part, I'm probably going to display that and switch that one out for more of a, you know, teeth grinning instead of the open roar. So let's go ahead and move it. I'm not looking forward to that, but at least it's not one gigantic statue. You have to move the whole thing. So 3 pieces, so stay tuned. Alrighty, real quick, I want to show you a size comparison. You know, this is the Kong vs. Skullcrawler, and then this one. You know, like real fur, sculpted fur. Kind of hard to do both, but I would say in general this one looks better. Real fur obviously is just more realistic. Plus I think being bigger, the teeth and eyes look slightly better. Both look good, but I think that's better. Plus look at the size difference, much bigger. I'm actually going to be displaying that head now on my Kong vs. Skullcrawler. And then here is the 2 roaring portraits. Again, Kong vs. Skullcrawler is superior in my opinion. Bigger, better paint app in the teeth and eyes. Alrighty folks, so here is the diorama all set up, and I'm kind of leaning towards switching Ghidorah and Godzilla vs. Kong. I can see Kong pretty good. I can't really see Godzilla's face at all from this angle. Like, I'd literally have to like sit on that shelf to see it. So I think it's better we move it there. Now I'm gonna have to display Kong's base a little bit on that. That way Godzilla's tail doesn't stick out. As you can see, it does fit a 48-inch wide garage shelf fine outside of Godzilla's tail that sticks out. And that's my walking way. So we're gonna have to display Kong on his base and angle him slightly diagonal, and obviously fix the posters, but I think that is the better way to do it. Besides, that's a taller piece, so I think that goes better in the corner anyways. But I do think the scaling is very good. You know, between these, I think they scale very good, because Ghidorah was absolutely massive and much bigger than Godzilla, and I think this is about perfect scaling. But I think ultimately we need to move Ghidorah to the right. There's no way around it, because I'm just not getting good angles on that Godzilla vs. Kong, and I think we're going to want those good angles. So I'm going to do a little switcheroo, which is not easy, but we're going to go ahead and remove all of Godzilla vs. Kong, move Ghidorah down, and then set up Godzilla vs. Kong again. But did want to show this to you, but I do think it is best we move it to the left for optimal viewing angles of such an incredible piece. So hold on. And there we have it, folks. You know, I actually don't mind his tail going slightly there. It's not a huge walking inconvenience for me. My other 2 rooms are tighter than that. So, and I prefer it to look like this. I angled him slightly, so I have a perfect angle of King Ghidorah. And eventually what it's going to be, it's actually going to be Frodo there, not Lurtz, and then Gandalf. And Frodo's even shorter than Lurtz, so, you know, no hindrance at all. Plus it's near Frodo's stink sword. Got the posters, both wall-mounted. And this is definitely far superior angles. Now, there is a light switch right there. Granted, it's literally in front of the garage shelf. But I'm going to have to get one of those. I have it. An extension cable to go up, and I need power for 4. 4, you know, 3 and 4. And then ultimately, we're going to have to use the bottom one as well for the Kong bust, or Godzilla bust. And I think Mecha, if I do get Mecha, you know. So here's kind of the idea. There's one of 2 routes we can take. We can go full-blown Monsterverse, throw Godzilla bust, Kong bust, and Mecha Godzilla. Call it a day. Or technically you could do the bust on each end, but I feel like I'd want the bust directly beneath the dio. You know, I'm probably going to be moving Game of Thrones very soon, maybe tomorrow. But that is one route. The other route is we just move Godzilla bust there, do Kong bust, and do Lord of the Rings there. You know, Bolg, Azog, my two orcs. Sort of like a continuation of Lord of the Rings, plus having King Ghidorah, you know, golden dragon above, somewhat to Smog. You know, I feel like it transitions really well from Monsterverse to, you know, Lord of the Rings. But yeah, here is Godzilla vs. Kong top shelf. Oh my freaking goodness. Gotta fix this logo perfectly. Yeah, definitely way better viewing angles right here. Really just need to get this bad boy lit up, you know, so I can truly experience it in all its incredible glory. So let's go ahead and rate this statue. Concept, 10 out of 10. Paint and detail, I mean, for the size and everything, I got no complaints on like paint and detail. It's really freaking good all around. So I would say it's at least like a 9 out of 10 on paint and detail. Presence, 10 out of 10. It's, you know, so much going on. Like this has just as much presence as, you know, like King Ghidorah in my opinion. And pretty much all my other statues. Maybe not so much as height, but I don't have a statue 40 or 58 inches wide. I mean, it's really 54 is how I figure it. About 54 inches wide. You know, you have this bad boy, which has that height and width presence, which is, for a single character, this is my favorite statue. For a diorama, though, this is the best statue. I think this tops Marcus and Lycan purely because of everything going on, so much to see. But then again, they're not really comparable, in my opinion. It's like apples to oranges. 2 1/3 with a very simple base, but really incredible 1/3 versus a gigantic building diorama. It's not really comparable, in my opinion. But this is definitely one of the best statues ever made. It truly is a work of art, and I really freaking love it. You know, and this is me standing up. Let's sit down and see that angle. Oh yeah, that is absolutely freaking gorgeous. You know, next to King Ghidorah is truly incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see this light up, you know. I definitely got to get that Kong bust, I will say. I'm definitely going to get that. Mecha is a maybe at this point. Like, I do want it. It's also quite pricey. But then again, if I don't get it, I have to sell Kong vs. Skullcrawler and still buy, like, you know, Bolgazog and whatnot. So it's like still kind of the same amount of money. I kind of feel like maybe I should just stick to Monsterverse. Now, I could technically pass on Mecha and get a future Monsterverse statue because they're coming out with Godzilla vs. Kong 2 March next year. And I'm sure there's going to be a sick villain that Prime 1 is going to make. I do like Mecha Godzilla. It's like a Transformer type statue as well, which is really cool. You know, so it kind of fits my whole theme. You know, I got like a, you know, T-Rex dinosaur, and then I'd have like a, you know, Godzilla dinosaur. So I think if my wait list converts, I'll buy Mecha. So, you know, it scales good. I think it's actually slightly even overscaled, and it would scale better with that Kong vs. Skullcrawler. And it did fight a Skullcrawler and Kong, so I think thematically it fits really well. It's just a matter of, do I want to do, you know, the bust together or separate it out? You know, like I could do Kong bust there, Godzilla bust there, Mecha there. I think that works really well as well. And I may consider that, just doing Kong bust, Godzilla bust, Mecha. That way Mecha is also closer to Grimlock, Transformers. The busts are still together, but they have a companion on each side. I think that'd look really good. I'm going to Photoshop that. Anyways, folks, this thing is absolutely incredible. 10 out of 10. Definitely, you know, one of my favorite statues. I really got to let it marinate to determine if this can top, like, you know, Optimus and Thanos bust. But this definitely has a lot going for it. It's definitely, you know, one of the best pieces now in my collection, no doubt. And I'm very happy I got this. It is fucking amazing, is all I'll say. And you know I don't swear and say that often. So it's 10 out of 10 Grail City over here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If I haven't uploaded this video already, we're going to do light up here now, or the video ends and you'll see it on my Instagram. Either way, see you guys next one. YouTubers, so I do got lighting all fixed up. Let me show you how I did this. I plugged in that right there, and I might tape the cord to be hidden by the black bar, because it can. Then I'll leave a link in the description below of these cords I bought, you know, but more or less I connected King Ghidorah to that, a 3-prong for this connection, and more or less it's all hidden by the buildings. You can't really see anything, which is really nice. And I set it up with a smart hub, so I have not seen the full dio in light up, and I haven't connected the bust either. Eventually I probably will. Let me show you how it works. And this is, and you're viewing this the first time, same as me. Alexa, turn on Dragon. So Alexa couldn't understand Ghidorah, so I had to say Dragon. Alexa, turn on Godzilla versus Kong. Boom. Check this out. Boom. Right in his face, too. So let's turn off the lights so you can see. So Godzilla, as you saw, the entire thing does that effect, which is incredible. Every single fire is lit up with orange. And then the buildings, not every window's lit, but a lot are. This one has a lot up at the top. This one, 3 tiers with a bunch of windows. The Prime 1 Studio logo is very lit up. This one, similar to the other one, 3 tiers, smoke effect. Every smoke effect, even this little car is lit up. That is, and then where Kong is jumping off, causing this explosion, also is lit up. Extremely cool light up. You know, and you can see it back there. The Prime 1 building is just lit up. Alexa, good night. I don't know if she can control that yet. Alexa, turn off Godzilla vs. Kong. Alexa, turn on Godzilla vs. Kong. Boom, you gotta get that pulsating effect. That is so cool they did that. And boom! Absolutely phenomenal. That is definitely extremely cool when lit up, folks. I will not deny it. I really like that light up feature. So I have it set up with my system. As you notice, I did move Khaleesi so we can prepare for Monsterverse. I've kind of come up with a few different Photoshop ideas, but we'll get Kong Bust in, and I'm going to try to get Mecha Godzilla. And I could do Mecha, like right there and that there, and the 2 bust here. Or we can separate it out and do Kong Bust with Kong vs. Skullcrawler and Godzilla with, you know, Mecha. And I may even do Mecha right there, Kong Bust, and then Kong. So, you know, because I like the idea of Godzilla like this, and then Mecha kind of in the middle, and then Kong with Kong. So I think that's actually probably the best idea. But yeah, this piece is absolute Grail City, folks. This light up is super sick. Super, super sick. So cool. It does that pulsating effect. You know, similar to them, they do that, which is very cool. Alexa, turn off Dragon. You know, and I think Prime 1 did a little bit better job on the flame light up versus King Ghidorah. Just a tad better. You know, check out that Prime 1. That thing's really bright. In general, all these buildings look super cool. So, what a seamless, you know, setup for the lighting. You know, no issues. Everything went good. Turn off the light one more time so you can have a good gander at how that looks. Yeah, that looks like freaking Hong Kong at night. Granted, a bunch of fire going off. Very, very cool. Thank you, Prime 1 Studios, for this amazing grill. Alexa, turn on Dragon. Let's get that back on. Alrighty, folks, there it is. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.